Hello, my friends, and welcome to today's math lesson. Today, we're going to be learning how to compare numbers up to 1,000. So let's go ahead and get started by reading today's learning objective, which is we will be able to compare numbers up to 1,000 using greater than, less than, or equal to. And in the parentheses here, I have these symbols, which we'll get into in a little bit, but that is the symbol here for greater than, that is the symbol for less than, and that is the symbol for equal to. Okay, so before we get started with all of that, though, we're going to go ahead and build some numbers over here using our base 10 blocks. So the number that I'm going to build on top is 535. Okay, we have 535 on top, and you can see it down here. And the number on the bottom that I'm going to build is 383. Okay, so now how do we compare these two numbers? When we are comparing numbers, we look at the place value that is the greatest first, and we compare that to see which number is greater than or less than the other one. Okay, so think about like with Halloween coming up, maybe if we do get to go trick-or-treating this year, you go trick-or-treating with your friend or your sibling or whoever, and you guys have a bunch of candy at the end of the night and you dump it out and everything like that. You're very excited. Okay. You're going to look to see who got more candy, right? You're comparing the amounts of candy that you got. And we could do exactly the same thing with numbers up to 1,000. So what I'm going to do here is we begin by looking in the hundreds place. Okay. So in the number 535, we have a 5 in the hundreds place. And then number 383, we have a 3 in the hundreds place. Okay, so if I look at my base 10 blocks here as well, I see that I have 5 hundreds in 535 and only 3 hundreds in 383. Obviously, guys, hundreds are more than tens and more than ones, and that's why we begin here in the hundreds place when we are comparing numbers. Okay, therefore, I can say that 535 is greater than 383. Okay, so I'm going to use the symbol for greater than. And what used to help me remember how to do this is that the alligator always eats the greater number. Okay, so 535, this is how we read this number sentence here at the bottom. 535 is greater than 383. Okay, let's go ahead and erase it and we'll do another one. All right, let's do 300. We won't do any tens. Let's do 305. And then down here, we will do 627. Okay, so we have 305 and 627. Now, again, to compare these numbers, I'm going to go look at the hundreds place first because it is my greatest place value that I have. Hundreds are greater than tens and tens are greater than ones. So we look at the hundreds place first. Now, in the number 305, we only have 3 hundreds here. In the number 627, we have 6 hundreds. 3 hundreds is less than 6 hundreds. So we would say that 305 is less than 627. Okay, so we're going to use the symbol for less than. And like I said earlier, we have the alligator always eat the larger number. And in this case, the alligator, like you can imagine that being an alligator or Pac-Man's mouth, or whoever is eating the 627. All right, let's go ahead and clear it, and we'll do a couple more examples because I want to show you some tricks and secrets, because what happens when the hundreds place is the same? Let's do one like that. All right, we're going to do 530. We'll do 537 on the top and 533 on the bottom. Okay, so now what I want you guys to see is while we are doing this one, we're going to start the same way, except now we have a problem. Okay, if we look at just the hundreds place, 537 has 500s and 533 has 500s. One is not greater than or less than the other. They are the same. So what do? We go to the next place and we compare the tens place. Now look, these both had 500s and they both have 3 tens. 537 has 3 tens and 533 has 3 tens. So what do we do now? We go all the way over and we look at our ones place. Okay, so in 537, we had the same amount of hundreds as 533 and the same amount of tens as 533, but our ones place is different. In 537, we have 7 ones, and in 533, we have 3 ones. 7 ones is greater than 3 ones, so we go ahead and say 537 is greater than 533. Let's check, and we are correct. All right, my friends. So now that we have done that with the base 10 blocks, what I want to do is come back over here to Sketchpad, and we're going to use this place value mat that we have down here to do a couple of examples with just numbers. Okay, so if I wanted to put these numbers, I want to compare these numbers, 387 and 492. Okay, now I just have the numbers. I don't have the blocks to look at. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put these digits in my place value mat over here to compare the hundreds, tens, and ones of each 3-digit number. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write the number 387, and down here I'm going to write the number 492. Okay, so just like I did with the base 10 blocks over there on the other side, I am going to start in the hundreds place. Okay, I'm going to start by comparing the hundreds to see which one is greater than or which one is less than, or if they are the same exact number, we would say that they are equal to. Okay, so on top, I have 3 hundreds, and the second number, I have 4 hundreds. Okay, so I got to think which one is less, which one is more, 3 or 4? Oh, I know that 300s is less than 400s. Okay, those are different in the hundreds place. Therefore, I can draw my symbol in here that says 387 is less than 492. Why again? Even if I didn't have my place value mat, I could just look here. 300s is less than 400s, right? Okay, let's go ahead and do another example. So let me get rid of that one. And let's go ahead and we'll get a different color here, and we'll do 498 and 463. Okay, so once again, I'm going to use my place value mat to kind of compare these numbers, get my numbers nice and organized so I can look at their place values a little bit closer and see which one is greater than or see which one is less than. All right, so I'm going to write this first number here, right here, 498. And over here, I'm going to write 463. Okay, so now we start in the hundreds place because it is the greatest place value. This number, 498, has 400s, and this number has 400s. That doesn't help me. I need to go over to the next place and compare the tens. 498 has 9 tens, 463 has 6 tens. 9 is greater than 6. It's more than 6. So I would say that 498 here is greater than 463. Okay, so we would use that symbol. And also if I were to type it out, guys, I could say that 498 is greater than 463. Okay, that is all for today. For the rest of the lesson, we are going to play a Kahoot, and we're going to go over this concept together so that we can work with some numbers on our own, and you guys can get some practice doing this on your own.